Alright, so another take on this one. Hope you all are having a good day today. Welcome back to the YouTube channel, Bruins Heaven. Like I said already, a great day. Let's talk about some clarifications and some updates on this big old dirty behemoth behind me. That is definitely quite the way to start a video. But anyway guys, welcome back to the channel. Let's talk about the truck today. You know, get some updates and some clarification on some videos. So we'll start off with some clarifications from previous videos, most notably my most recent truck upload, which revolved around talking about a possible part out and some stuff of that nature. And I wanted to clarify a couple things. I made a community post about this, but you know, obviously the video is going to reach out to more people than the community post did. I don't know if y'all can hear that. It's a clapped out Chevy doing a pull down my road. Anyway, as I was saying, I want to clarify that there is no part out currently set. I saw comments about people asking for X part and saying they're sad to see it go. I want to make sure people know that it's not going anywhere at this time. I did not mean to act like it was confirmed at that point, or if there was any sort of confirmation of anything, is that, you know, or that anything's up for grabs right now, because nothing is. Currently the truck is still here and is still going to be my car until possibly the next couple of weeks, because it's getting picked up by a mechanic this week to go take up to their shop, the same mechanic who built my exhaust. So the only person I trust working on this thing is him, and they're going to once over it themselves and give us a professional opinion whether this thing is, you know, completely savable, or if it's a good idea to finally call it quits after 5 years plus of owning it. And you know, honestly, at times that alone makes me be like, oh yeah, it's time, because it's been 5 years. And you know, obviously, you know, I've done all I can really without going too crazy, without going forced induction and stuff like that. You know, so who knows, maybe it is time. I guess we'll just have to wait and see on that. But I want to make sure that I clarify right now that for those that are upset that, you know, it's still here. It's not going anywhere at this time. You know, there's still plenty of time to figure out whether this car is staying here or not. And there's still plenty of time to figure that out. And I'm really excited to see where things go. But that's kind of some clarification, is that the truck is still around, but you know, there's no part out confirmed, there's nothing going on yet, but it is going to get picked up and get a professional once over, and they're going to give us a full-on mechanic's opinion on what's wrong with it and if it's truly savable. Once we have that, we'll have our decisions made, and we'll, you know, that'll be that. I had originally intended on, you know, this thing's fate being determined last week, but that wound up not happening, which is fine. You know, this has been a long, drawn-out process, and you know, I'm ready to get back to business as per usual, as much as you guys are. So hopefully I'll have, you know, the final kind of, you know, say here in just a couple weeks. But yeah, I just want to make sure it's clarified that there is nothing going on. I didn't mean to confirm anything in that video. You know, going back and watching it back, I could have been a lot more clear. So that's kind of that. You know, there's no confirmation, there's no denying either that anything is happening. It's just kind of in this weird gray area right now where it's not getting parted out, but it's also not getting parted out either. You know, it's also not getting parted out. I guess that's the way to say it. But I will say that I will keep you guys updated. The whole point of that video was just not blindside you guys. The last thing I wanted to do was release Fire to Autocross 2. We were still trying to fix it, and then the very next video be like, okay, we're parting it out with no explanation or in between. You know, so the last thing I want to do is blindside you guys. Obviously, if there had been any rush decisions made, you know, like, you know, we had finished that video, and like the day that we finished that video, I was like, okay, I got a buyer here. He's picking up the whole thing, and he's gonna give us, you know, $2 grand for it or whatever. Then that would have been one thing, and that would have been, I would have gotten blindsided by that, and then I probably would have blindsided you guys. But I want to make sure that I clarify that that video was not meant to confirm anything or deny, but it was meant to keep you guys from getting blindsided in the event we did go the part out route. Because the last thing, like I said, the last thing I wanted to do was just be like, okay, yeah, we're trying to fix it, and oh great, we're parting it out. Now it's, no, everything's up for grabs. And when it's time, I will have a video out talking about what parts are up for grabs. So I will have that for you guys eventually, so you guys can, you know, have that whenever it's confirmed, or not. Who knows? Maybe that never will happen. But I will say this now: if we do go the part out route, I'm going to be very, very, very firm on my prices. So, you know, I don't plan on, you know, dropping my prices at all. But anyway, yeah, that's kind of the clarification of the last video. is that it's still around. It's not leaving the channel anytime soon, but it will eventually be once overed by a professional, and then we'll have our decisions from there whether or not it will truly stay in the future. I'm working on getting a new job though, and as long as that happens, I don't know what my intentions are. I first applied because I was pretty sure I was getting a car, which kind of irritates me because the car that I was looking to buy fell through, which I'll get into in a moment. But my whole intention was getting this job to get a new car, and since that fell through, I might get this job. I'm still planning on taking the job if I get the offer, but my whole original plan was to get this car and then apply. I literally test drove a car and applied for jobs the same day, because I was like, if I get this car, I want to have a job lined up already so I can start paying on it. But unfortunately the car fell through, but the job does not appear to have fell through just yet. Knock on, I mean, I could go inappropriate with that joke, but knock on kneecap that it's fine. But at the end of the day, we still just have to be smart with this. I can't let any sort of attachment or any sort of fears hold me back from being financially smart, because the problem is I could be financially dumb. They come back and say it's a $3,000 repair, and I'm like, well, I don't want my YouTube channel to die, so I'm going to fix it. That would be dumb of me to do, and I hope that a lot of you guys understand that I have to be smart financially while also doing my best to keep things going everywhere in my life. I mean, I need a car to get around, and I can't really afford to drop $3 grand on this, nor do I really want to spend that kind of money. Like, I have a cap for myself that I don't want to go past, but unfortunately, since the truck's not legally titled in my name, because I was, again, 16 years old in the state of Georgia, you can't have a car registered to you at 16. I can't do a thing about it. We never signed the titles over in my name because of how much of a hassle it'd be in terms of paperwork, and it would cost a good bit, because in the state of Georgia it's a bit of a pain to transfer titles to others. So you have to kind of go through the entire selling process to do that. So it's a bit of a hassle, to say the least. But at the end of the day, we have to be financially smart. We have to decide what's right for all of us. So that's that, really. That's kind of the truck as a whole right now. It's no confirmations, no denials. Just, it's going to get picked up, looked at. We're going to get one final damage assessment, one final opinion, and we'll go from there. Because at this point, I think me and my dad both are kind of tired of this. It's been 4 months of, fighting with other shops to get it home, fighting other shops for, getting it fixed. I think we want a true professional's opinion, a guy that we trust and know is going to take care of this thing and is going to look meticulously, knows how much it means to me, and is going to give us a valid opinion on, is going to give us our best opinion on what's right. So that's kind of that. That's kind of my clarification and update for now on the truck, but I do want to talk briefly about my falling through new car thing, because I talked about it very briefly, but the day before I went and checked out the car. But I did go and test drive a Mark 6 GTI. It was a 2010 Tornado Red Mark 6 GTI, 91,000 mile DSG car. The spec I wanted, outside of not having a sunroof, it had the cloth seats, it had the heated seats, it had the steering wheel controls, it had pretty much almost every feature that I wanted outside of the sunroof. So it was a really good spec car. I personally would have liked a different color than Tornado Red, because it just sticks out like a sore thumb, and I was thinking more of like a black or Nardo Gray kind of color, but of course they didn't sell the GTI Nardo Gray at the time. I still don't think they do. So that was kind of that. But it was also a 5-door, which I would have preferred to have the 3, but the 5-door wasn't the worst thing. But I drove the car and I loved it. I really was like, head over heels for this car. I was sure that I was going to be, going home, filling out the paperwork, because it was not a buy here, pay here. It wasn't like I could get approved on the spot and then take the car home that day. I had to go home and fill out paperwork and stuff like that. And unfortunately, the car was like an hour plus away, so it's not like something I could go back home. And plus, it was a weekend, so the banks were closed anyway. But we went home and we were, trying to get the paperwork sorted out and filled out, and then we found out the car sold. So that wound up falling through, and obviously I've got my eyes on a couple other cars right now as backups in case the mechanic comes back and says this is junk. I've been looking at cars such as an F30 328i, which is 0.1 seconds slower than the GTI to 60. So it's probably just as fast. It's a bit more luxurious. It's a bit bigger. Probably be a little bit easier for me to step into coming from a pickup truck. And get a feel for. I figured that a sedan probably be pretty good for me anyway, because you know, it'll be a smaller jump. You know, if I jumped in the GTI, it's a considerably smaller car than this. And while I'll enjoy that in the long run, because I've always liked smaller cars, I think that at first it would be a bit of a learning curve to go from something so big with a really, you know, wide turning circle and just generally big vehicle to a small vehicle with you know, very tight turning circle, you know, cars like that. And I'm also looking at an E90 335i. It's an N55 car. I'm intentionally, if I get a 335, it will be an N55 car. I refuse to touch the N54. They're just problematic, unreliable engines, and I would rather not deal with it. The N55's miles better. It's no saint, but it's a lot better than the 54 in terms of reliability. Yes, I know the N55 will not make as much power, but I wouldn't trade off that because I don't plan on making 700 horsepower out of the car anyway. I'd rather have a reliable but still fast daily, and that's why I was looking at 335s. Unfortunately, a lot of cars are no longer in contention because of my kind of strict rules about it being a sedan or a hatch or a wagon. I can't get a coupe. Getting a stick shift's kind of out of the question. So, you know, obviously cars that I would purposely buy in sticks, such as Velosters, Genesis, GTOs, G8s, cars of that nature are out of contention. Cars like the BMWs and the GTI are like the only cars that I really like that are automatic. Obviously, if I had, you know, more than, you know, my budget, I would be looking at cars like the Supra and, you know, cars of that nature, you know, Mopars even, and, you know, the Mustang, the Camaros, all that stuff. If I could afford anything, I was, you know, the kind of stuff I'd look into. More than likely, if I could go out and buy a new car right now, it'd be a Supra. I think that's just kind of my obvious choice. I'm not really crazy about like any of the domestic cars enough to really be like, oh yeah, that's what I would drive every day. The Supra is like the only car really that's brand new that I'm like, you know, outside of the C8. The C8 is also a very big, like, you know, for me. So, but yeah, that's kind of the video at the end of the day. Little TLDR, truck's not going anywhere. I clarified that. It is getting picked up. It's going to get professionally assessed, and it's going to come home, and we'll go from there. At that point, I drove a GTI. It fell through, unfortunately, but I do have backups in place. Hope you all enjoyed this long video. I'm sorry that it was so long, but I wanted to get everything out and make sure that everything was in the right place and you guys knew exactly what was going on. I've tried to be transparent with you guys, so that's kind of that. But anyway, hope you all enjoyed. I will see you guys in the next one. Take care, guys. Have a great day.